Hi everyone, welcome to Moms of Yoga. I'm so excited about today's flow. It's all about supporting a healthy immune system. And if it's winter time for you and you've got a little one at home with a runny nose, you know you need some help. I hope you enjoy this video. Begin in a comfortable seated position. Let your spine be long here. Let the shoulder blades gently roll down your back. As you inhale, lift your arms directly up to a 60-degree angle. And as you exhale, move your palms in towards each other, almost touching. Inhale, the arms return back to 60 degrees. Exhale, the arms move in towards each other. Repeat this at whatever pace is comfortable for you for 30 counts. If you're pregnant, you can do this, but you might want to consider slowing the pace down and make sure that your exhales are soft and passive. In doing this practice, we're promoting lymph node drainage and circulation in our arms, as well as building some heat in the body. And the breathing that we do with this can be detoxifying. When you're finished, gently rest your hands on your knees. Walk your right fingertips out to the side and let your head hang heavy to the left. Begin to nod your head forward and back, investigating this space until you find the spot that's just a little bit tighter than the rest. There's always one sticky spot. And when you find that spot, stay there for a few breaths. See if you can open up that tightness with your breath. Take your left fingertips and gently push your head upright again. And now we'll walk our left fingertips out to the side and let the head fall heavy to the right, rolling forwards and backwards, finding that tight spot. And when we find that one sticky spot, we'll stay there. And we'll try to send our breath to that spot. Take your right fingertips and help your head upright. Walk your left fingertips in front of you and your right fingertips behind you, inhaling to lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, hug your tummy into your spine as you gently twist over your right thigh. Another inhale grows your spine a little taller. And as you exhale, you hug your tummy in and come into your twist a little bit more deeply. And this time we'll walk our right fingertips forward and our left fingertips behind us. Inhale to lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, hug your tummy in and twist over your left knee. Another inhale brings the spine a little taller. Exhale hugs the tummy in as you come a little more deeply into your twist. Release this pose and come to place your feet flat on the floor in front of you. Cup your hands gently just below your knees. And as you exhale, round your spine backwards, gently hanging from your hands as if you were swaying in a hammock. As you inhale, let your elbows bend, your shoulder blades move down your back as your chest moves forward. Exhale, straighten your arms, let your chest round and your head hang heavy. And as you inhale, let the air moving into your lungs float your chest forward as your elbows gently bend. One more time, exhale, the elbows lengthen, the spine rounds, and the head is heavy. Inhale, bend the elbows, let the shoulder blades run down the back as your breath fills your lungs and moves you forward. Exhaling one more time, rounding the spine and leaning back. Inhale, let the chest move forward. Exhale, round the spine, lengthen the arms. Inhale, fill your lungs, let the chest float forward as the elbows gently bend. Come to find yourself in hands and knees. Letting the shoulders stack over the wrists and the hips stack over the knees. Tuck your toes. and start to lift your tailbone to the ceiling for downward facing dog. This may be your first downward facing dog of the day, so be gentle here. Bend one knee, then the next. Maybe come to your tippy toes, lower them down. Take any extra movements here that feel nourishing. And when you're ready, you'll settle into your downward facing dog. On your next exhale, you're going to round your spine towards the ceiling as you push forward into a plank pose. And then as you inhale, you'll bend your knees down towards the ground and then sweep your tailbone back behind you and up towards the ceiling to return you to downward facing dog. Exhale, round through the shoulder blades and the spine as you push back to plank pose. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the tailbone back behind you and up as if you're painting a semicircle with your tailbone, and end up at downward facing dog. Exhale, complete this wave, roll forward to plank pose. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the tailbone back behind you and up towards the ceiling. Let's take this wave one more time. Exhaling as we round the spine and the shoulder blades to the ceiling, pushing through to plank pose. Inhale, bend the knees and sweep the tailbone back and up, returning to downward facing dog. Last time, round the spine as we push into plank pose. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the tailbone back and towards the ceiling. And on your next exhale, gently walk your feet in towards your hands so that you're at a forward fold at the top of your mat. Make fists with your fingers and place them in opposite elbows, allowing the weight of your head and the forearms to carry your chest closer towards your thighs. You can always have your knees slightly bent here if there's any strain in your hamstring or your low back. Lower your hands to the floor, bend your knees, let your tailbone grow heavy to the floor as you round one vertebrae at a time to rise to stand. Inhale your arms overhead, bringing the palms to touch. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Come to stand in a wide-legged stance facing the side of your mat. The toes can turn in towards each other a little to increase the inner thigh stretch. The arms reach out to the sides, actively reaching to opposite walls. The feet are grounding firmly into the ground. The tailbone is heavy. The crown of the head is reaching towards the ceiling. Come to find your warrior two stance now by turning your left toes to face the front of the mat, making sure that the left heel aligns with the right instep. Bend your left knee and settle down into your warrior two. Your arms are reaching out long and actively in opposite directions. As you inhale, you'll straighten the left leg and bring the arms up overhead. And then exhale again, rebend the left leg, settling back into your warrior two. Repeating this, inhale, we straighten the leg and the arms come up. Exhale, we settle back into our warrior two. Again, inhale, lengthen the leg, reach the arms up. Exhale, rebend your leg, returning to your warrior two. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, rebend your leg, return to warrior two. One more time, inhale as you straighten your leg. Exhale, return to warrior two. Inhale this time and return to that wide-legged stance facing the side of the mat. Turn the toes in towards each other ever so slightly. Bring the palms to touch and interlace the fingers behind your back. And then hinge at the waist, letting the hands fall overhead, giving a deep shoulder stretch here. And as you exhale, gently release the hands and bring the palms to the floor, walking them back underneath you, under your pelvis. Let the head hang heavy. If you have any neck strain or back pain here, you can also take a more restorative pose by resting the crown of your head on a block or pillows. Otherwise, go ahead and simply let your head dangle towards the ground, letting your elbows bend, letting the weight of your head carry your spine closer towards your thighs. Walk your hands back out in front of you and place your hands on your hips. Inhale as you lift your torso upright. Return your arms out to the sides for our wide-legged side stance, pushing the feet into the ground, the head to the ceiling, the tailbone towards the ground, and the arms out to the side, active and turned on. And now find your warrior two on the other side by turning your right foot to the front of the mat, aligning the right heel with the left instep. The arms are reaching out to the sides, the shoulder blades roll down the back. As you inhale, we'll take the same flow we did on the other side by lengthening the right leg and letting the arms come up overhead. As we exhale, we'll rebend the leg and return to warrior two. Inhale, straighten the right leg as the arms come up. Exhale, bend the right knee, returning to warrior two. One more time. Inhale, straighten the leg, the arms float overhead. Exhale, the arms come back down, the knee bends, we return to warrior two. Inhale, straighten the leg, lift the arms up. Exhale, bend the knee as the arms return to warrior two. One more time. Inhale the arms up as you straighten the right knee. Exhale, bend the knee as you lower back down into warrior two. As you inhale, return to that wide-legged side stance by pivoting the right foot to be parallel to the left. Bring your hands together behind your back. Exhale as you bend at the waist, letting the hands fall over your head, letting the head hang heavy. Exhale, release your hands to the ground. Walk your palms a few inches under you, sort of in line with your pelvis. Again, if you're needing a more restorative pose here, you can always take the block. Resting the crown of the head on the block will ease tension in the neck and the low back. The point here is to have an inversion, so by resting your head on the block, you don't take anything away from this pose. And if you find you don't need the block, go ahead and let the head hang heavy. Let the weight of your head and gravity pull your torso further down. Walk your hands out in front of you and heel-toe your feet in together. Bend your knees, let your tailbone drop a little, and gently roll one vertebrae at a time to rise to stand. Come to lie down on your mat. Have your block handy or your pillows handy. Have your feet flat on the floor and rest your arms down alongside your body. Check to make sure your heels are the appropriate distance away from your bottom by making sure you can gently graze your heels with your fingertips. Push gently into the ground with your palms. Make sure your feet are firmly rooted, and then begin to lift your bottom and your pelvis up off the floor for bridge pose. The tricky thing about this pose is that you don't want to squeeze your buttocks. Try and release them, and see if this brings some of the work into your back muscles. As you exhale, start to slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time until your sacrum and your bottom are touching the ground. Bend your knees into your chest and grab a hold of the outside of each foot with your hands, coming into happy baby. Your knees are reaching in towards your armpits, and your sacrum is still reaching towards the ground. We don't want to pull the bottom up too high into the air here. Maybe roll a little side to side to massage out the low back, and then replace the soles of your feet to the floor. Gently push through your palms and your heels. Take a deep inhale and let the air filling your lungs help float your pelvis up off the floor. Trying not to grasp or squeeze with the butt muscles, use the strength of your legs and your back to reach your pelvis towards the ceiling. One more deep breath in. And on your next exhale, you'll begin to slowly roll back down towards the ground, one vertebrae at a time. Let's take another happy baby, hugging your knees into your chest. Grab the outside of each foot. The knees reach towards the armpits as the tailbone reaches towards the ground. And then release your feet, bringing the soles of your feet back to the floor. Lengthen your left leg out, keeping your right knee bent. You can quickly shift your weight over onto your left hip. Bring your arms out to the sides, making a T. And take your right knee and start to reach it over the left side of your body, coming into a spinal twist. It's important here that your right shoulder remain on the ground. The right knee doesn't have to touch the ground. The idea is for the shoulder to stay on the ground, and the knee will eventually reach the ground in time. In doing it this way, you're protecting your back. You may gaze over your right shoulder to bring a little bit more stretch across the shoulders and the neck. Go ahead and return your right foot to the floor, and then hug your right knee in towards your right armpit. Release your right leg to the ground. And we'll take the other side by bending the left knee, bringing the foot to the floor. Shift your weight onto your right hip and let your left knee reach across towards the right side of your body. Bring your arms out to a T, making sure that that left shoulder blade now stays on the ground. The left knee will touch the ground whenever it's ready. Go ahead and gaze over your left shoulder if you like to bring a little extra stretch across the shoulder blades and the neck. And release this spinal twist by bringing the sole of your left foot to the floor, and then hug your left knee into your left armpit. Release your left leg, bringing it down next to your right on the floor. If you're pregnant or are having any low back pain, you'll be following the flow in the top right-hand corner of the screen. You'll be taking a block or pillows, placing them directly under your sacrum and coming into a supported bridge pose. Otherwise, you'll be following the bottom screen. You'll bend your knees and bring your feet to the floor. And then you'll start to hug your knees in towards your chest. Push gently through your palms as you straighten your legs so that the feet face the ceiling. And then start to lift your bottom off the floor, bringing your hands to your low back for support, letting your toes touch down to the floor behind your head for plow pose. If you feel stable here, you may straighten your arms out so that they fall alongside your body. If your feet don't comfortably reach the floor, or if you're having any back or neck pain, then you can let your feet float above the floor as shown here, but be sure to have your hands on your low back for support. Otherwise, let the feet touch down and let the arms fall alongside your body with the palms touching the floor. It's very important in this pose to make sure that you don't move your head side to side. Just keep your neck in a neutral position. You may like closing your eyes in this pose. If you've been in a supported bridge pose, remove your block now and roll down one vertebrae at a time. If you've been in plow pose, bend your knees, resting them on your forehead, and then place your hands on your low back as you gently support your bottom and your legs back to the ground. Everyone will meet up with their legs stretched out in front of them. We'll all meet up in a seated position by first bending the knees, shifting your weight to the left. Roll over on your left side and gently push yourself upright. For this next and final inversion, you'll need a small space of wall or a door that won't open. And you'll want the bolsters or the pillows that you set aside earlier for yourself. The idea is to make a small ramp for yourself so that you can lift your upper body off the floor a little bit. Come to sit next to the wall so that your bottom is touching where the wall meets the floor. And then as shown here, swivel your legs up the wall and lay your torso back on your ramp. You want your bottom as close to the wall as possible so that really those sit bones are actually up on the wall. If you're not pregnant, you don't have to make the ramp. You could be flat on your back, but it often feels good to have some support behind you. You can remain here as long as you like. I recommend at least 5 long breaths. And when you're ready to come out of this, you'll bend your knees, roll over onto your side, and gently push yourself upright. hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. And leave a comment to let us know if there's something else you want to see in Moms of Yoga. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.